connected to hatred. If a skinhead shoplifts a beer off a shelf, why would you let that kid go? Unless you force that kid to undergo a program. And there are all kinds of programs in New Jersey and across New Jersey. I guess.
What's that? Upstairs here.
Got it.
Stick with that, I should be.
Okay.
We can walk there, right?
Most people in the world are good people, but there's evil in the world, and it's incumbent on each and every one of us to fight that evil every moment we are alive.
And what I say is, whenever we see this, we stand up against it. We never brush it under the rug. I think too often, as a Jewish member of Congress, and there's anti-Semitic things all the time, you speak out against every single one of them. You don't let them go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I came to Jersey City today to express the personal condolences of the President of the United States and of the entire administration that stands in absolute solidarity with the Jewish community here in Jersey City and with the entire Jersey City and New Jersey community, all decent people who, in this tragedy, have been affected so deeply. We met with the community in a synagogue in the midst of this tragedy, a place of holiness and of worship. We spoke with the community there. From here, we'll be going to a bereaved home, paying a Shiva call, and then we'll be going to the wake of a real American hero, Detective Joseph Seals. And I want to say it's very important to remember that hatred and anti-Semitism doesn't just claim Jews; it claims everybody. And here again, we see another horrific, tragic reminder of this. We stand together, all of us, to meet this evil with renewed dedication to making our world a better place. One message I just conveyed in the synagogue is that we're in the season of Hanukkah. Jews all over the world, in lighting Hanukkah lamps, are commemorating an occasion where Jews were victorious over those who would profane the holy. And that's what this is. This act of savagery was to profane the holy. I just stepped into a kosher market, a place of observance and faith. And there are more bullet holes here. I have not seen that many bullet holes since I left Iraq, where I spent a year in a combat zone. And so, in this horrific act of evil, our obligation, all of us, is to come together, arm in arm, and shoulder to shoulder, with uncompromising dedication, to bring communities together and to meet evil with decency and goodness and love.
This is an isolated incident, but unfortunately it's rising all over the world. We see it here on the East Coast, in New York. We've seen it in Brooklyn in the last few months. Of people who look very Jewish are attacked so often. And our message is that the best way to fight hate, as Ambassador said so well, is with love.
And an 11-year-old boy in the Jewish tradition is the oldest son in a family who has the responsibility of saying the Holy Jewish Mourner's Prayer for that family. To have to learn that as an 11-year-old is a tragic, sad, and horrific thing to do. And all we can do from here is build on strength and understanding that no child should have to do that, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity.
So sorry. It's a congressman in Washington. President Trump nominated Ilan as a special ambassador to fight anti-Semitism. And he came to show support on behalf of the president.
I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. How's the family managing? You don't mind.
We're managing the best that we can. Family is here, friends are here, Jews in general is here, people from all faiths are here. And so from the highest officials in the U.S.
None of that replaces your loss.
Yeah, of course not. It's obvious. I mean, everybody sees that. Hopefully. And as I said to every official that comes by, we appreciate that everybody is working together
to get hate out of this country.
What I said just now in the synagogue to the community that we came and we met in the synagogue, and I said, look, especially in this season of Hanukkah, we understand that when there's evil in the world, we have to meet it with love and with light. And God willing, your loss is irreplaceable. But my prayer, we can't go backwards in time, so my prayer is that this loss should bring the world to a better place. That people should be kind and decent to one another, should banish hate from their hearts, and treasure B'Tselem Elokim, treasure the humanity and the godliness in every human being.
And
That's right.
I would just say, and I think the ambassador said it so well, know that the result of such tragedy, to me, is what happens to it. That it doesn't just, it's not a fleeting moment and we move on with our lives, but actually, and this is something that's come up quite a bit in northern New Jersey in the last days, and know that as you're seeing people's heartbreaking, it's so much broader. You should see the number of people who've reached out, and all they want to do is know what they. Also, you should know from government, you have the head of law enforcement for the people who represent all law enforcement in the state of New Jersey are also here to pay their respects, because they also want you to know that it's something they find more.
They lost one of their own.
I know.
The same department, but
Welke aangenaamd hadden we in deze wacht.
all right then.